guys, welcome to another Draw With Me segment with Miss Sarah. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw this animal. What is that? An owl, that's right. So it's just kind of a simple, kind of cute drawing of a little owl on a branch. And I'm gonna be showing you how to draw that today. So for this, you're gonna need some paper, just some regular computer paper, printer paper, or some paper out of a drawing pad. If all you have is lined paper, that's okay, that works too. You're gonna need a good pencil that has some type of a really good eraser that doesn't leave those black streaks when you erase. You wanna make sure you have a good pencil. And you also wanna have a great marker. I'm gonna use this marker today, but if you have a black marker or even a dark crayon, that works too. And then afterward, if you want to, you can color it in. And I have these crayons here. So I'm gonna be using these kind of fall colors, but you can make your owl any color that you want. Okay? All right, and then as always, you wanna make sure that you have some newspaper available so that you can protect the surface that you're working on. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna switch my camera, move it down so you can see what I'm doing, and that'll give you a few minutes to collect those materials. See you in a minute. All right, welcome back, guys. So I have my paper here, and what I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna start by using my pencil. I'm gonna use kind of quick little sketching motions, and what we wanna do first is draw a nice big oval. So I'm gonna start at the top. I'm just gonna give it kind of a nice good oval shape, okay? Just coming all the way around. Make it a little flat on the bottom if you want. And then I like to turn my paper upside down once I get it to that side. And it just kind of helps me follow that line all the way up. Don't worry if it's a little off or it's not exactly perfect, that's okay. So you can see I have kind of just the outline sketched there. Now, once you have that, you're gonna put it back the way that you started. And from the side, you're gonna kind of come up a little bit, again, using those sketching motions. So probably about here, I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna make kind of almost like a semicircle, like a crescent sort of shape on that side. And then I'm gonna kind of try to copy it going across, the same kind of shape coming up. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring this line all the way across so that my lines touch. So I'm going to turn my paper on the side. Makes it a little bit easier to work with, and I'm just going to bring this all the way across. Again, using those really light kind of sketching motions. So you should have something that looks kind of like that. So now we don't need this line here. So we're going to go ahead and erase that part of our oval. And what you're left with should be something that looks kind of like that. You've got kind of that shape coming up and across and then coming down. You know, that good little shape there. Okay, so now that's our basic owl body shape. From here, now we want to draw the wings. So on our owl here, we're going to start about here, somewhere in here, and we're going to bring a kind of a crescent shape going down. Okay, so I'll show you that. We're going to start probably just a little bit below where that bend curves in. We're going to grab right about there and come down like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to grab right about at the bend and then sketch it down to right about there. So now you should have something that looks kind of like that. You've got your two little wings there. All right. Now, what we want to do is draw the beak. So our owl beak is going to be kind of a little bit of a crescent shape. Actually, let's do our eyes first. So our eyes are going to be some big circles in this part right here. So where your wings are, you're going to draw your eyes in this part here, okay? So I'm going to just draw my eyes. I'm going to do it really lightly, just in case I don't get them just exactly how I want them. It's really easy to erase the lighter that you do it. All right, not too bad. So you should have something that looks kind of like that. And now we can do our beak. Your beak should kind of be in between your two eyes here. Your beak should go kind of here, right? Because when you look at an owl, you kind of see the beak and the eyes are kind of close to where the beak is. So let's make a little crescent shape at the top here, and then we're going to bring the beak down. And it's up to you how long you want to make it. If you want to make it longer, if you want to have it a little more pointed, whatever you want to do. I'm going to make one that looks kind of like that, but you do what you think is right for your owl. So now we're going to do kind of the cheeks of the owl, because most owls have their heads and their faces a little bit different color than their wings. So I'm going to start kind of close to the end of the beak, and I'm going to make again like kind of a crescent line, just coming down this way. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and don't worry if it's not exactly even and your lines are a little bit longer on one side than the other. That's fine. That's fine. That just gives it character. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for character, right? So your owl's going to have some good character. And then some owls have a little forehead triangle. There's like almost like a little stripe or like these really dark feathers that come right on their forehead, right down between their eyes. So I'm gonna draw that little triangle right there. Get it down so you guys can see it. Get that little triangle right there for my owl. Okay, so you have something that looks kind of like that. He's really coming together here. Or she. Your owl might be a girl. All right, and then we're gonna do the eyes. So what I like to do for the eyes is make a backward C shape, and then I'm gonna fill in that circle. So I'm gonna start right here. Backward C, backward C, and then I'm gonna make my owl eyes kind of fill in that whole eye space. So something kind of like that. So you've got that. You kind of want the impression that the light is coming this way and it's shining, and that's why we make that backward C. That kind of makes it look like his eyes are shining or reflecting the moonlight maybe. All right, now we're gonna do the feathers on the wings, and this is one of my favorite parts. So for the wings, you're gonna make kind of an upside down C and then another upside down C going down. So it should look like this, and then you're gonna start at about midway and this, and again, this and this. And you're just gonna do that kind of all the way down. I like to do maybe about 4 of them. Okay, so you should have something that looks kind of like that. And now we're gonna copy it and do the same thing on the other side. So again, we're gonna do our backward C shape. Kind of try to match what you did on the other side the best that you can. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Remember, we're not looking for perfection, we're looking for uniqueness and character. All right. So there's our nice downy feathery wings for our owl. He's looking so good. Now you know the tummy part usually has some really fluffy feathers too. So I like to kind of do some U shapes there, just some capital U shapes. I'm just gonna have kind of a couple maybe coming down, not just kind of here and there. No rhyme or reason. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of whatever. So now I've got those fluffy tummy feathers kind of showing. I like the way that that looks. Right? Now our owl is going to be on a branch, right? So the first thing that we're going to want to do is draw his feet. And for the toes, because when birds grab onto the ledge, they have their toes and their toes just kind of wrap around like this, right? So all you see is that. You just see their toes. So I like to do ovals for the toes. So I'm going to give them about 3 toes on each foot, and we'll just do some ovals. We'll just kind of put them right next to each other. That set of 3 is 1 foot, and then we'll move over a little bit and we'll do the next set. All right, so now you should have something that looks kind of like that. Those little toes, perfect. And where the toes stop is really good to be about the bottom of your branch. So you can go ahead and draw a line connecting this toe to this toe, just underneath it. So that kind of gives you a guide for your line. You know kind of where the bottom of your branch is. So since that's the bottom of your branch, you can draw it to there, and then you can go ahead and just draw it all the way across to both ends of the paper. You can just draw it all the way across to the sides of the paper. There you go. So now you've got that bottom part of the branch. For the top part of the branch, you can see I have a little bit more room here, so I may just have my branch coming kind of closer to the top of the foot here, coming out, and then I like to give it a little extra. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring out a line from just about the top of the foot, a little bit above that maybe. And then I'm gonna stop and make it come up like this, kind of at an angle, almost like a triangle sort of. And then at the top of the other foot, I'm gonna have that branch kind of come across. You can see I've got a nice little branch there for my owl to sit on. Now this is kind of big here, so what I like to do is kind of open it up like it's a little twig kind of sticking out, or an extra part of the branch. And to do that is really easy. I'm going to make a triangle starting at the edge of the paper, coming down and going across. So I'll just sketch that now. I'm going to bring the point, I want to make the point even with this line of the branch, and then I'm going to bring it across. So there's my triangle right there. And it creates this look that this is your branch here, and then you have this little extra twig or branch sticking out of it there. And I kind of like the way that looks. So that is your completed owl. And the best thing to do once you have him all done the way you want him, remember, you can erase any parts of him that you don't like and re-sketch them however you like. That's the great part about doing it kind of light. So once you have him the way you want to outline him. And that's where you need your dark marker or your dark crayon, okay? So I'm gonna start at the top, and I like to turn my paper sideways because then I can really see what I'm doing. I'm gonna bring this line all the way across. That looks so great. And then I'm gonna start on this side today. I'm just gonna get my owl body kind of outlined here. Bring that down. This is where it's really important to have the paper underneath because markers tend to soak through. Now if you're using crayons, that's not usually as bad, but with the soaking, but definitely need it if you're using markers. All right, get my eyes here. And you can really see that the marker really kind of wakes him up, doesn't it? I like that it really lines him out really well. So now you can really see his eyes. Now let's do his beak. Now I'm going to do his wings. Look at this wing. branch across. There, get his toes. Get these toes. Looks really good. And then let's see, we need to do his face. So I'll start again, and I'm just going back over all the lines that I already drew with my pencil. That's why I really like to use pencil first. It's a really good idea, because then if you make any mistakes, you can always just go right back with your pencil and erase them. Can't really do that with marker. And even pens that have erasers sometimes don't erase quite as good as a pencil would. So I really recommend that when you're drawing, you want to sketch it out with a pencil first, and then you can go over it and finalize it with your marker. I'm just going to go over my U's here. All right, and last but not least, I'm going to trace my branch. All right. And that is my owl. Awesome! Now you might notice if you look closely, there's spots where my marker maybe went a little wider than my pencil mark. And if that happens, that's not a big deal. That's the whole point of using the pencil, and you can now use your eraser and just go over any of those lines, those pencil lines that are just kind of sticking out where you don't want to see them. Kind of hide them. Just erase them and kind of hide them. Looks pretty good. Just have a few little spots where I just got a little bit wider than my pencil mark, or came a little shy of where the pencil was. So that's why the pencil doesn't have to be exactly where you put the marker, but it is a good guide just to kind of give you an idea where that mark should be. So it's okay if you go a little bit wider when you outline. You just don't want to go way off, but you can always erase and always erase it. All right. So now he looks nice and clean and perfect, and he's ready to be colored in. So I am going to start with brown, definitely. I think I'm going to make my branch brown. Remember that you can use any colors that you want. There is no wrong way to color this owl. There's really no wrong way to color at all, if you ask me, but you just get it the best that you can, as close as you can. And I'm just going to make this a nice brown branch, sitting on a nice branch here in the middle of the fall. I love fall weather. Do you guys love fall weather? I love that crispness that we find in the air. It's so awesome. And let's see. I think I'm going to make his toes orange, I think. Those little toes be orange. I'm gonna let his beak be orange too. Okay, now the inside of his eyes, I'm gonna color in black. So you could use your marker for that if you had wanted to color in the eyes. You can really make them any color that you want, but for me, I'm just gonna make them black for right now. And I think I'm gonna do this other one black as well. Again, your owl eyes can be any color that you like. It does not have to be a certain color. There's no rhyme or reason. And then I'm going to make the outside of the owl eyes yellow. A lot of times that reflective part that you see in owl eyes is actually the yellow part. They're very reflective. Very reflective. So the pupil, the part of the eye that can really see far and really sharply, is the part that gets really, really big, and owls have excellent night vision. Their pupils are so strong. We humans don't have owl vision the way that they do. They can see a mouse from miles away at night. I can't even tell what's at the end of my driveway at night, so I think that's kind of a cool thing about owls. Now, for his tummy, I'm kind of thinking I want to do, I might leave him kind of white actually, and then do sort of a, maybe a brownish sort of, light brown. Light, barely there brown. So I'm just barely going to touch the paper, just the whisper of that brown. And then I think I'm going to make his tummy just that whisper of the brown. So I'm just barely touching the paper. So it's almost just super soft, super quiet, sort of just the suggestion of color, but not really a lot of actual color. I'm just gonna make him that nice, super whisper brown. Oh, I really like that. That looks amazing. What do you guys think about that? That's my amazing owl. Now I'm thinking I may, for his wings, do just a whisper of an orange. Very, very light whisper of an orange, like barely even touching the paper. Just holding it very lightly and just barely kind of dragging it across the paper. So you almost don't even, you're not pressing down at all. You're just kind of cradling the crayon and just kind of pulling it along the paper, not pressing down at all. So you're really just getting that really, really light sort of texture. My newspaper underneath has some creases, so I can see I've got some spots where it got a little darker than I wanted, but that's okay. And I'm gonna fill in the top of his head too with that whisper of that orange. Again, just cradling the crayon, just cradling it ever so slightly and pulling it across the paper. Just so that it gives that whisper of color. Go! And then if you wanted to, you could go back through and make him a little bit darker if you want, but I kind of like him like this. That's my owl. And you can make your owl any color that you want. If you wanted him to have purple feathers, rainbow feathers, green eyes, you can do whatever you want. But that is my owl. Thank you guys so much for drawing along with me. Stay tuned. I have one more thing I want to share with you, or a couple things. I want to show you some really awesome owl books in case you're interested in owls that we have here at the library. So I'll be right back with those awesome book selections. All right, you guys, great job drawing your owls. Now I want to share with you some owl books that we have here at the library. I pulled these off our shelves just this morning. So they are here, they are available, and I'm going to show you 3 different categories. So the first one would be kind of a 0 to 5 or picture, these are picture books. So this one's called Little Hoot. This is written by Amy Krause Rosenthal, and Jeff Chorus. So I really love this series, and this is about a little owl that wants to go to sleep in the daytime like his friends, but his parents make him stay up late. Or rather, he wants to go to sleep at night, I'm sorry, like his friends. But his parents make him stay up late because owls are nocturnal. That means that they're up all night. So this is kind of a fun little series, Little Hoot, and that's about a little baby owl, super cute. This one is a series of books by Andy Runton. And this one is about Owlie and Wormy. And those two are best friends and they have lots of adventures together. So this one is Bright Lights and Starry Nights. And it looks to me like they're going to find some other animals that are nocturnal and awake at night. I bet you know what those are. And the other one that I found is super cute, and this one is called Owl Babies. This is written by Martin Waddell and illustrated by Patrick Benson. And this one kind of follows these 3 little adorable babies in that fun story. So those are some picture books about owls. Now maybe you want some nonfiction books. Maybe you want something a little bit older and that has actual facts about owls. So I found these nonfiction books. This one is just called Owls, and it's Animals That Live in the Forest series. This one, let me see who my author is. Oh, by Joanne Early Mackin. And this one has lots of actual pictures of real owls. So you can see there's all different kinds of owls around the world. And I really like this one for the actual photographs that it has. So there's that one. And then I found another one. This one is called Owls and Their Homes. And this is a series called Animal Habitats. So this is talking about where owls live and all kinds of good information about them. This one's by Deborah Chase Gibson. Now, nonfiction books are organized by a number. It's like an address. It tells you where they live on the shelf. So the number for owls is 598.9. And you can see that on the spine of the book. So if you want to look for books about owls, you're going to look for 598.9, or you can go online to tularepubliclibrary.org and type in owls, and it'll pull up all of those fun things when you search our catalog. So that's nonfiction. Now maybe you read chapter books and you don't really want picture books and you don't maybe really want nonfiction. Maybe you want something fun that's a chapter book that you can read. Maybe you have to do a book report, or maybe you need points or something for school. I have 3 really good titles about owls here. This one is called Owl Diaries, and this one is written by Rebecca Elliott. This is a really cute series, kind of a newer series. And they're different little adventures and stories about owls and owl families. So that's kind of an easier reader one if you're just kind of starting reading on your own, maybe 3rd grade. Guardians of Gaul is another series. They made a movie out of this book. This one's by Catherine Lasky. They are a series, so you do want to read them in order. This is the first book, and this one is called The Capture. Okay, so there's Guardians of Gaul, and that's all about owls and owl society. And then, of course, there is the ever-famous Carl Hyacin series that always features an animal, and this particular one is called Hoot. And it is about some little burrowing animals in Florida and saving them from a construction project that's going to mess up their home, right? So saving animals is always a good thing, and this one is all about that. So if you like animals and you like good adventure stories, then any of these 3 titles would be good for you for that. So I hope that you guys will check out some owl books. Remember, tularepubliclibrary.org. Search the catalog. You can request items there. You can also give us a call at 685-4501, and you can talk to a person and request some owl books. And I hope that you display your owl drawing up somewhere that everyone in your family can see it, because I'm sure it came out awesome. And if you make one, please, please send me the pictures. I love seeing your guys' artwork. You always do such a great job. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today, and I will see you next time. Have a good one and be safe.